And Wix. How's everybody going today? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's Thursday? It is Thursday, right? I think it's Thursday. I feel like it's, I don't know, these days are like just getting so crazy. But yes, it is Thursday, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. I wish I had a good April Fool's joke for you. Other than the fact that here's a good one. I made my $100 to $100,000 my $100 to $1,000 challenge. I did it. I did it in a day. April Fools. Gotcha. Sorry. Had to throw that one in. Anyways, yeah, I know there's been some technical issues here with especially on Wednesday. Hello. Wednesday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was Wednesday. Wednesday with my phone. The day that it couldn't have been the worst day that it had to happen. And so what I found out is I have basically my phone does not want to charge with a plug-in charger. It just doesn't want to plug in with a plug-in charger. I don't know why. I can try any kind of plug-in charger. It doesn't want to play it. It'll act like it wants to plug in for like a second and then it won't plug in anymore. So I've been having to use wireless chargers. It's fine. Well, this one wireless charger that I've been using quite frequently has and I've been even taking it to work just so I can even have something, you know, to charge while at work. I woke up on Wednesday morning and my charge was like at 20%, even though I'd been charging all night, and I was like, what is going on here? And I was at work and kept charging it, and I kept checking it, and then I don't know if it was I had many apps open and I was draining the battery or whatnot, so I was trying to close all my apps. I was just trying to get my phone to like stay alive. And but you know, I did give some decent hints. I believe, I feel like I gave some decent hints as to what could have possibly happened. Trying to do something here. I do believe I tried to give some hints as to what could possibly happen in what was to come, you know. And even though it may not have been as specific as I wanted it to, it just it didn't turn out the way that well, of course, I wasn't able to call it, you know, specific things, specific think of the word, just any kind of specific anything I wasn't able to call out, and it was just kind of frustrating. It was very, very frustrating that I wasn't able to call out not wanting to show up in here. Just item 0. No, that's not it. Properties for Telegram. It's not showing Telegram. Anyways, I was trying to pull up my Telegram so I could show you guys exactly what I was. Oh, here it is, Telegram. Okay, perfect, got it. We have got Telegram up on a screen, and I just got to get it all figured out. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, I probably should have had a little bit this more thought out than usual, but it is what it is. So go. Okay, so anyways, we will go ahead and transition to this Telegram screen, and I'll pull up what I had going on here. Was the last time that I had posted some good. That needs to be deleted. Okay. So, let me see here. March 7th, March 29th. So that would have been around this week, not March 14th. All right, so I'm staying my ticket. Okay, in order to block around 62% premium, cause a sell-off. Yeah, it looks like go up for a few days, slightly entering. Okay, go channel renamed. Okay, so this is when I really started doing it. Just FYI, Mondays I don't normally trade, which I usually don't. And I did trade a little bit on a Monday, and I ended up with just a little bit over $6 just because I ended up making some decent calls. That was the only day that I ended up making a decent call, because Tuesday did not go as well as planned. Tuesday was the day that where everything just kind of went sideways. I kind of had it all planned out, you know, where you should see it start floating up. This is my plan, floating up toward, you know, 39.67, 39.67, 39.65. The broker, there's some fair value gap in that area, as well as a negative order block. At this point, this is where we should initially sell, right? So I'm thinking at the opening of the bell, it's gonna come up, it's gonna hit this, you know, and then it's gonna drop, right? And then we should see it drop down to a potential bullish order block, right? That would most likely be around, well, the first point, I give 3 points, right? But I get my first point, which would be around the 100% fit, which would be 39.45. And then if it's possible, it could reach even further down to 39.32, 39.44. And then it could possibly, if it really wanted to and really wanted to reach deep down into there, would be 39.75, 39.77. So here is kind of what I had planned out. You know, you had, I don't know if you can see it. You really can't see it blown up on my screen. But if you follow the Telegram channel, and you show, you know, it shows that it goes up into a specific area, drops, and then comes up, and then goes over and does this thing. Well, what actually happens is that, let me go over to the browser here on, and I'll show you what actually happened instead. So, and I know the browser's all kinds of jacked up because I have so much annotations on it and got rid of hardly any of them. So I am just going to go down to the 5-minute and kind of show you what happened on yesterday. All of this was supposed to be said. It was my fault because I was thinking it was going to get up in here, and it didn't. It did not get up in that area. Instead, it got up in this area, so I called that too early, right? I called that too early, but the thing was is that even when it did get up into this area, it fell down, and it fell down to that one of those areas that I called. that I called for it to go up, right? What was that area that I called for it to go up? Hold on, let me switch back over here to this transition and see if I can find out what that number was. Which was a 100% fib around 39.45. 39.45 was the transition that I thought where it was going to go. So, and as you can see, it got all the way down to, well, it got down to about, yeah, 39.45. I mean, if you look at this perfectly, 39.45, but it would have been a little bit higher depending on your broker. The 39.45 was almost exactly the exact point to where I called, where I said, hey, it could probably get here, and this is where it was going to turn around, and this is spot number 1 where we're going to buy. So I hope you had that in mind. I hope you had that in your crosshairs. I hope you had that planned out, and I hope you bought there. I had a buy limit set at 39.47, just a little bit above it, just to be conservative. And so I was in on that point. And then it got up, and what I was just hoping for was, I was just hoping for that it was just to continue going on up. Considering it didn't hit this part just yet, I was thinking, okay, since it didn't hit this, you know, this fair value gap, it was just going to continue going up. Instead, it came back down. What did it do? Kind of got close to that same thing. I took some profits up here. It fell back down, and again, this is the day I don't have my phone, so I couldn't tell you guys what to do or what was going on. And it comes back up, and was this a day? Yeah, this was the day I didn't have my phone, and I could tell you guys what's going on. Kind of tell you guys, hey, just be aware of these kind of things. And then once it came back all the way up to the point to where I thought it was going to sell, from the very beginning was the point that it did sell, and it was at the very end of the day. And of course, what did it do? It sells, and it sells off all the way down to fair value discount. Was around 30.50. So there were, you know, back and forth. We probably could have made some profit had, number one, I probably had a little bit more time to spend in front of the charts and not been so distracted as to why it didn't. I was so confused as to why it didn't do what it did at first, and then it had me confused for the rest of the day as to what to do next. So that left me a little bit, it's kind of, okay, well, what do I do now? So then the next day, all right, so then we get the next day going, and I was saying, okay, as long as it stays underneath, you know, a certain part here, and I was thinking these two highs, right? As long as it can stay underneath these two highs, we're gonna have a good day tomorrow, because what's gonna happen is that it's gonna run up past those highs, right? And I haven't had this even before on my last one. You know, here I had a big profit level. You know, I had, you know, here's some equal, I had equal highs over here, equal highs here. So there were so many areas to where we could have, you know, taken profit, you know, and started the day off with such a bang. But what I wanted to do is, I even called it early, a really early short, just because I wanted it to be a scalp really quick before we got into, you know, the big sell. And I even called that on my Telegram channel. So we want to transition back over to this Telegram channel, and go down to here. Here we go. Let's see. This is including the same day. Okay. Okay, this is the same day. Here we go, March 31st. So here we go. Sell SPX. 7 o'clock in the morning. I sell SPX. 39.65. I said it'll be a short move and then a buy. That's the key word. It'll be a short move and then a buy after that, right? So that should have been told to everybody after that. Even if it didn't, you know, we didn't make a profit, just buy after that, right? So, and I put my stop loss was 39.68, and we got to 39.60, and then there's a breaker at 39.60. It should hit around there and buy. And I was hoping that's what it was gonna do, but it didn't. I threw out a NAS that I knew was probably not gonna hit, but just for whatever it was, I knew it wasn't gonna hit. And then I put this message out here, you know, right after you know, the bell came out, and I probably should have just said, hey, buy right now. But I also included a message, hey, you know, it's non-farm payroll. Sometimes these things, you know, the algorithm can be disastrous, so be careful, you know, trading these things. And then that's when my phone just completely died, and I should have just been saying, you know, buy. And I hope you caught, you know, the thing earlier about me saying, you know, it should be a short scalp and then a buy, and then took that into consideration. I got my phone working toward the end of the day, and I did say, you know, hey, here's a mitigation block. You know, hopefully, you know, it would, even though it was really high above it, hopefully maybe you took some profits here, and then once it gets back down to this blue line, buy again, and then it should take off. Well, unfortunately, that didn't work out so well, because that mitigation block just did not work. It just went right through it, and then that was all she wrote for that one. As for today, like I said, here's for today. SPX looks super confusing. It's at an all-time high. So most dumb money will be thinking sell, right? I'm reading right here, right? Here's the paragraph I'm reading from. So most dumb money will be thinking sell because they're trying to get to the top of you know, the top of the top of the chart. Basically, they're trying to catch the highest high so it can get on the way down. But smart money knows this. Smart money knows that there's people trying to sell as much as possible. That way they can try to catch something on the way down. Well, while it does that, you know, it's smart money slowly moves its way up. I wasn't even about to try to touch, you know, Forex right this week, just because of non-profit week, or sorry, not non-farm payroll week. So I wasn't even about to turn to, you know, USD, Euro USD. I did make a point though. Let me see here. Let me read this. I 1 hour before I will lay down, letting quick move at the beginning of the bell, which sent it north. At the bottom of the value gap, would give more confidence that we shoot north. Another possibility is that what it did yesterday, and just shoot straight up. And there's somewhat equal highs between the W shape at the top, which just tells me more. There's more liquidity is resting above. A lot of sellers in these areas, meaning smart money would push it up. Watch the full figure around 400, as that could be a number that could show resistance. So while it'll push through those highs, it might be short-lived. Lastly is what is below. There's a large 4-hour gap, and I point out where that large 4-hour gap is, so in case it does want to fall, that's probably where it would fall to. But I didn't think it was going to fall that way. I put Nasdaq is going to be full of buys, trying to break as many intermediate highs, and because I see it makes XPX another big buy day today as well. And we'll check on those charts here in just a second. SPX should be a buy. It's hitting a mitigation buy setup right now. Should he be at bell open? 399 or 3991, 3992 should be the buy area in SPX. As expected, a buy open. It did buy at that area. As expected, a buy open, but we did have a snag at about 4,000, right? It kind of stung around there for a second. Take profit and put your stop loss at, at your entry, just, cover your bases. I think that the next place we're headed to is about 4,005, 4,010. Everyone is trying to catch the top of the SPX short. Smart money knows this and is trying to play games with and continue going higher until they're ready to make profit themselves, and then drive the prices lower. So then I have, kind of the this is the gold thing that I said. So this is these white lines that are going kind of across here. Those are fair value gaps, right, from the gold. And I'm saying that it completed the fair value gaps in the gold, and I'm saying, hey, if you want to make a risky bet, it hit the fair value gaps, you can probably sell and probably make a decent amount. And it went up 20 pips. I want to say it ended up getting more than that. And I'll take a look at that in just a little bit. So we'll go over SPX and gold. All right, so toward the end of the day, around 12, I said SPX has been increasing all week. Thursday, the early NY session is when it is most likely to make its high. I believe it's done with its high, and you can safely close any open calls. SPX hopefully in profit. Hopefully you're in profit. Watch closely to see if there's going to be a massive move down or get into or not. And so that was it for the that was it for everything. Okay, so we want to go to today. We could just say, yesterday was a loss. I'm sorry guys, but hopefully you caught all that huge move. I mean, that was just a massive day for my phone to just go out on. But what I was looking at whenever the day was about to start was over in here, right? Over in this area. And in here, I think it was around 650, but wasn't it around 650? I said I called a short, and I don't know why I called a short at 650. You know why I was dumb at calling a short at 650? Because you have a breaker block right here. Didn't mean it. Here. But okay. So you have basically you have a low, a high, and then a lower high. So because of that, right, not a breaker block, you have a mitigation. So because this shoots up above this mitigation, once it comes back down to this area, that's just a solid buy. I mean, that's an easy solid buy, right? So that was my dummy mistake, trying to call a short on the one spot that should have been the actual buy. And I said, I think I did say that the buy should be around 38.85 or something like that, or it didn't get close to that. But I did say, there should be a short. I said it around 38.90 would be the stop loss. Anything after that you should have bought. If it went above the stop loss, you should have just bought, because that was definitely easy spot to see to where you could see it go up for one again, because you have equal highs. You had the high from over here from back from the day before. You had the high just right before this all started taking off. 5 o'clock in the morning, it started dropping again. This is what I love. I love that 5 o'clock in the morning drop. It gives me everything I need to see, everything I need to know what's going to happen for the day. So takes off, it does what it's supposed to do. I said watch out for that 4,000, right? And what does it do at that 4,000? Does exactly what I thought it would do. Just kind of goes back and forth and makes people think it doesn't know what it's going to do. So hey, take some profit, don't put your stop loss above where it needs to be, and then we'll see what happens from there. Then it just continued moving on, and I think I want to say it was somewhere right around, or was it around 12 something, or I think it was probably somewhere around 1 something. It was probably somewhere right around in here where I was saying, hey, you know, hey, Thursday is usually the day where it likes to make the high of the week. You know, especially since it's getting into the second half of the day, more than likely, usually this is what usually happens. Second half of the day is when something like the SPX or something like some kind of indice will usually start to drop off in something like some kind of capacity like that. Not even thinking, hey, still way above major highs, where, you know, people are still probably trying to find a sell on that area or what, and then that way they can do whatever. And then of course at the end of the day, what happens? Boom, it just shoots up. So I'm sorry if you guys all closed out your trades early, but we, you know, we had the right direction. You know, if you guys want me to call out numbers like and say, hey, buy here, sell here, things like that, I can do that, but instead I'd rather give you guys ideas. That way you know what you're looking for and what's, you know, possibly going to happen. I think that helps you guys out more than any, rather than just me saying, hey, buy here, sell here, stop here. You know, like, I don't like that kind of, I want people to try to think about like what they're going to do, you know, with their you know, their pricing and their strategy. I should probably give a little bit more guidance on it, but still, from what I thought was going to happen, it did happen. So hey, I knew it was probably going to take above those highs. I didn't know how high it was going to get above those highs. I didn't think it was going to get that high. I honestly thought maybe today was probably going to be a short-lived day. Maybe got to maybe 415 is what I thought was probably going to be the highest that we were going to see. And then after that would be done for. That's why around 1 o'clock or so, or it may have been around 12 o'clock or so, whenever I was like, hey, this is probably about the highest. We're gonna go ahead and cut it off, and not even thinking we ended up making another 130 pips after that. Completely my fault, but we did actually have a good decent day. Again, you want me to call out numbers and say buy here, it's, you know, sell here, can do that, but I was hoping that you'd be able to understand and take my direction, as seen on today. But here, let's take a look at that. Oops, wrong thing. I was supposed to be showing that. Can't show that. There's nobody. Let's take a look at that XAU call. Here it is. And hey, got up to fair value gap, and stopped at a fair value gap. And if you guys want to, you guys can sell here, and it might actually, fall back, and it might be able to make a amount on that fallback. So we'll have to see where that fallback was. Hold on, let me go to the hour, because it was in the hour. That when I say it was in white, is it not in white? Anyways, hold on. I know I sold there, so let me take a look at my MetaTrader and find out exactly where I sold at. $17.30. Was up in, yeah, it was right up in here. It looks like this. Oh, okay, I see where it is now. So it was, we do a little thingy here, right, along the fair value gapist, right here, pull straight across, right, right there is where I said, hey, it just hit the fair value gap, you guys can sell here, take a risk and see where you want to go. And it went from 1729, and I think I posted another thing. I said, hey, it's at 1727, we're already at 20 pips, or I could keep going lower, and it did, and it got all the way down to 1725. So hey, that's 50 pips that we could have made off of. I think I closed my position. Where did I close my position at? 1726. I closed my position at 1726. So still, I gave you an idea, and it was up to you if you wanted to live up to that idea. I didn't want to tell you where to close it at. I wanted you to use your own, judgment, whatnot. But I did give you an idea what to do with gold. Give you a little bit extra cash. It was, in the middle of the day, not much going on. SPX was kind of floating around, not really doing anything. I was trying to figure out another way to make some money, and then there it was. We had, even though it was just a little bit of a drawback, we may not have got the whole shebang that we probably should have gotten if I had paid attention to it earlier in the morning, which I probably need to start doing. But we did end up getting at least a little bit of a pullback on that gold. I mean, and gold is gold, 30 to 50 pips on gold, it can go by pretty quick. And you can see it went by in less than 2 hours, so that's not bad at all. So those were the two that had it going on. Anyways, I do want to go back to this SPX and want to go to a naked chart can do that. I want to do a line chart. I want to compare it with 110. $100 US cash. And then I also want to compare it with US 30 cash. What I was told to do as homework was to look at, take off this volume and look at the long. That doesn't really give me any kind of sense of anything that happened. Let me go back to the percentage and the line. Because supposedly in the area of, hold on, let me hide this and this, and let me get back off the line chart, not to the bar chart, but to the candle chart. Somewhere in the double bottom area, right before the day took off. I think it was this. So let me draw a rectangle. Of course it's may have not have been that, because it from today. On I don't know, I'll have to double check and find out. It may have been this area here. I think it was this area. Since anyways, I'm gonna forget about it. I'm just gonna forget about it. All right, so tomorrow, what do we have going on for S&P? We're at all-time highs. Are we going to continue to be at all-time highs? That is a really good question. I am not for sure. What I want to do is let you guys kind of see the chart. Second here. Oh, not transition. Come on now. Wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Now you don't have to see me on the chart. That way we can just look at the chart here for a second. Now the thing with this is that the reason why it did this all day is because the dumb money was trying to catch the top of this, right? So if the dumb money is, especially toward the end of the day, everybody was thinking, okay, we can all sell now and take our profits, right? Right at the end of the day, right before that 3 o'clock bell, you know, everybody's thinking we can go ahead and sell now and take our profits. And then what happened? Boom! It shot it right back up. I mean, the people that know how to play this market, and they took all those dumb money people and they just like looking out for your profits. You're not taking any profits. We're gonna take all your profits and make sure you don't have any. So that being said, smart money is going to eventually want their profits tomorrow. So you probably will see some kind of drop tomorrow. We will see some kind of drop tomorrow, right? Especially with as parabolic as all this move has been, there is going to be some kind of movement that's going to be downward. And you know what? It may stay up here for a while. It may actually continue moving up as the night goes on. Who knows? But then eventually it's going to drop. And it's going to drop, and it's going to drop, and it's going to drop. And it's going to drop till it gets to a safe place until everybody thinks it's over with. And then I have a feeling it's going to do one of these. Because the smart money took all the smart money, you know, they took their profits, whatnot, that they wanted to. And then the dumb money also started taking their profits as if they were going to. And then maybe it may not be there, and maybe got to a point, maybe it gets to a point to where it's just almost not comfortable to take profit. So maybe instead of something like that, it gets to, you know, somewhere like right around in here, right? Like toward the end of the day, and then dumb money goes, okay, well, it's gone down enough, maybe I can take my profits here, and then it does this again, you know. And the reason I pointed out that specific area had to do with that red candle, right? So that red candle, meaning that, you know, that could be an order block that it could bounce off of, meaning that the smart money, what they did was that they dropped, you know, a couple $100 grand, you know, just to get the price to drop that much, and then bought it, and then waiting for it to get back to that price just so they can buy it, just so they can close out that trade without losing any money, and then buying it again. That's what I feel like is probably going to happen with SP. You know, something around the nature of that. That being said, let's gonna see what's gonna happen with Nasdaq. Nasdaq finally caught up to the party a little bit later than everybody else did, but I knew it would, because it had also higher highs that it wanted to catch up to. I learned some interesting facts tonight about higher highs, and I always wonder, you know, if like, you know, whenever you have higher highs, if it's like here, but like this right here, like you have higher highs right here and you have higher highs right here. I always wonder if it's just gonna like try to take these higher highs and then kind of, you know, wander down instead of trying to take out these higher highs. And answer I got was no. It's actually going to continue to keep going after higher highs. As long as there's higher highs, it's going to continue to keep going after them. So learning that tonight was a very, very big eye-opening moment. Now I know not to be scared to continue going after the highest highs possible. And even then, I mean, look at this. I even have this drawn out as a high for all of this drops, right? It drops and then it comes back up and you have a higher high. What does it do? It breaks this higher high. So higher highs that, especially if it's starting to come back and make its way back up toward these areas that all have equal highs, you know, that have tons of liquidity above them, it's going to aim for them. It's going to take them out. Now, here, what we have ahead of us right now is we have a fair value gap. We have a fair value gap right here. And I have no idea where that just. Fair value gap right here. What that means, I don't know. Considering it's broken a lot of liquidity, what I have a feeling this means is that it's probably going to get up into this fair value gap and then make some kind of dip. Probably, and it's probably going to be doing the same thing around, you know, with SPX. You know, I think SPX is probably going to still continue to try to do its rise. You know, once it gets to that, let's get to a point to where it's going to try to start making people think it's going to sell. You know, NASDAQ is probably gonna do the same kind of dip thing. It's probably gonna fall back a little bit. Thing with NASDAQ though is that here at this high moment, right? What we have is we have a breaker, right? We have low, a high, and then a lower low. Even at this line, we have a breaker. We have a breaker setup going all the way across. Let me see if I can't even now. We even pulled up as that far. And it's going to depend on what time that it hits this. It's going to depend on what time it hits this. If it hits during, you know, let's say I don't know, because we still have a long time ahead of us. If it hits, you know, early in the morning, like let's just say London Open, it comes up, it hits this fair value gap, and you know, NASDAQ starts sliding. NASDAQ doesn't do a whole lot during London. That's the good thing. At least I feel like it. Does it? I really don't know. Maybe it does. Look at that. Actually, yeah, it does. It kind of falls apart. Let me see if I can find another London where it does do. 2 o'clock. Yeah, it can kind of jump up and then, well, like yeah, it didn't really do a whole lot of damage. It kind of just stayed around the same spot, but still, it could do that. It could come up into, you know, fair value fair value gap area and kind of hang around. Maybe not hang around, but maybe just get rejected and hang around for a little bit. And then right at the open, this breaker opening. If it hits this breaker opening, right at that time, we might see some skyrocketing prices from SPX. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, or at least seeing, because once you get into a fair value gap, almost always going to see a retracement. Almost always. Never see it just go straight through a fair value. Unless it's a small one. Unless it's a real tiny one. And even then, you can kind of see it's already, you know, been entered, which will be called the institutional order flow entry drill. But it's not. I don't think it was enough to really, you know, cause some damage to it. So it could come up to about consequent encroachment, which means about halfway through, you know, maybe linger around, and gets back down to, you know, around this area, around 9 o'clock in the that dip. Say if it starts up here, it goes up here, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, it would probably hang around there until about 5 or 6 or something like that. 6 is when it's like start to drop. And once it drops from 6 until about 9. And then after that, if it hits that area around 9, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this start to take. Because we do have another liquidity point ahead of it, right? So it's gonna be trying to shoot after that liquidity point. You know, NASDAQ is not shy about trying to get to liquidity point, even though it may be a very, very kind of a large liquidity point, where, you know, place to get to. That is good 3%, 386. Well, I would say 3,000, or no, 6, yeah, 386 points, which would be 3,000 pips, I guess. That's a pretty large area going toward. I don't really see I don't see all, just because you do have the fair value gap above it. Going to be trying to increase it. If anything, now that it has broken these highs, right? Now that it has broken these highs, the only thing I can think that I can see what it would possibly do would probably try to come back down to this area down here, you know, this 13,167 area. There's some fair value gaps in here that it could try to fall back into before, you know, up, but I just don't see that happening. Don't see it happening. Let me see if I can get a 4-hour read on this. Oops. Even the 4-hour read on this, still just, you know, there's a tiny little fair value gap block in there. You know, that it could get to. It could fall back into that area before it does go forward, and then you could see it hit this, go back down. It all just depends on what's going to happen overnight. If it's going to go up, then come back down here, or if it's going to start retracing down overnight and hit here at some point and then go up. It all just depends on what's going to happen overnight during abundance. Be prepared, and I'll try to keep everybody else prepared as well. US 30, I'm not even going to worry about US 30 right now. Other two things, I think, or at least one of the main things we need to look at is Ethereum, right? Because it is, you know, it's on the brink of all time, you know, and probably on the brink of all time highs because of all these, and I even drew this over here happening, all these fair value gaps and quarter block. I even have a 5-minute fair value gap. This could head and just take this and see where these things go to. Or anywhere near where we're at right. Oh, look at that. Just touch the bottom of it. Touch the bottom of that fair value gap. Then decided to retrace, right? Retrace. What did it do? It filled in the fair value gap, right? Which is a bullish signal, which is why it is turning bullish again. Now, gotta see if it, I'm sure it'll probably fill in this 5-minute fair value gap now. But now what is above that 5-minute fair value gap? You have a negative bullish order block in here, right? I don't know why. It must be in a small 5-minute some kind of thing that's going on in here. But if it hit a 5-minute fair value gap, that decided to maybe a 5-minute negative order block. Well, I don't, I'm not for sure if Ethereum is going to make a run for its money and try to make its high tomorrow, just because of this apparatus here that does have a lot of price, what I'm looking for, price action, I guess you could say. I don't know if I can even get back to it with a 5-minute. If I can, I will. I'm try to take a look at it. I can't. Oh, maybe it does exist. Does exist. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Oh, I found it. Where's Waldo if we're on a chart? Okay. So, where are we at right now? We are here, 1876.75, right? I have a 15-minute fair value gap premium sitting right there, which it probably looks like it just hit and then probably off from. Wait, are these before? So this is nowhere near actual high. Here is the high. Okay. It shows in my drawings. Oh, it stops right at my drawings. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Or unless it's still trying to load up. I don't know. But it could just be that, hey, this is as far as your drawings go back. Unfortunately, we don't allow you to see this much more. That being said, I knew price would probably get above 18 something. Just because of all the different fair value gaps and price. Just the way the algorithm works, like the high, well, the high here, I guess, 38. High currently. Go to a different one. Base. Right, current high is at 19,750. Oh, okay, here it is. 1957. Okay, so right up in here. This in an hour. go back to where we are now and try to compare it to what I have drawn on my 5-minute chart. I could probably do a 15-minute chart and it would probably show better, but probably still. Here is my negative order block that I drew here on the hour. Kind of safe to say. Well, I wouldn't say really safe to say. Maybe on a 15-minute base, safe to say thing, because that would be your last up point before. But even then, if Ethereum has its momentum going up, go auto. Okay. That you have equal highs here. That definitely get it above that if already. 70. Here is the 5-minute fair value gap. Did get above that. Already hit. Already take. Now we gotta wait for order block here. I need to, if it's gonna retrace from all these fair value gaps care of. That's the thing, is that more fair value gaps to be taken care of, so it means that there's no more having to worry about coming into and possibly trying to could actually just in here. Prices already been taken care of because it's already been filled either one or other. We could see high tomorrow from Ethereum. Good. I don't see a reason why it would try to sabotage it. Not really sabotage itself, but try to fall. You look, it already it did this on purpose. You have a fair value gap right in here. And what did it do? Right in the middle of nowhere, it just drops and hits fair value gap and jumps right back up. Like, that was planned. That I mean, there's no way in heck that was not. Come on now. That is the algorithm at play right there. I mean, if there's no proof of any kind of like algorithm, I don't know what to tell you, because that's the proof right there. That is 100% proof that there is an algorithm, right? Or else, you know, the price would have just kept going. Instead, it dips down into the fair value gap, so that way fair value gap, specific term, you know, price into it. I don't really know how to explain it, fair value gaps that well, but once price reaches into a fair value gap, it is more than likely to follow suit and continue in a direction that it isn't. Basically, how fast. Thing is, it hit the 5-minute order block. Fell back just a little bit. Who knows? It's probably gonna hang around and probably continue. What I will do is I will try to. What I'll do is all. Negative 19. We double check this prices. 1992.80. on Coinbase, on oh, it's because I'm on. And I just hit the wrong button. So, I'm gonna turn this red. Everybody knows. That this is the negative order block that possibly hit and possibly see a rejection from, but the way Ethereum is looking strong, try to get to a new high. I don't see anything wallet coming out. Could be coming out, which is something that we need to see come out of. We need to see Ethereum make it. I think it has to do with Ethereum project. Also, the only other thing about Ethereum that I don't like is did do fib on side just crossed in 88%, which like positive. It's just a weird possibility that it changed direction. That's the only. I don't think that's possible. Just broke a high, and hasn't gotten any lower low. Did get down one air, kind of getting freaked out about it. But ever since then, kind of not really held its own, but made a strong move up. Had a little bit of a dip and back ups. Hopefully we see some good things come out of Ethereum. Maybe overnight or maybe even soon. Who knows? Last but not least, right one. Check out Bitcoin. Let's see where we're at with this. I did want to try to go over some coins. Maybe we'll do some quick ones. Some ones that I personally got into, that have definitely helped me out ever since I got into them. I felt like I found them. I wouldn't say I found them early, but I found them at a good price at a good time. How with. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go to the hour right now. Try to see. Can't figure. Going on. Right, so here we did have a breaker, right? The things that you got to look at these. You know, let's get rid of that. I want to get rid of it. So you did we have low, high, lower, low. So here, top of that breaker, straight across. Boom. Price shoots above it. What does it do? Hits the breaker. Right. For highs, what down hits the breaker. Highs. Here's the thing, you have another breaker shot here too, and that's why price hit above and so same kind of thing going on here. Breaker high, Actually, low high. Actually, that's not a breaker. That's more of a mitigation. Now, thing with this huge V shape here, is kind of concerned about, because high, lower high. That would also be a mitigation, but that mitigation setup would take part at low spot. So what would happen, that you would get, so what you would get is you'd probably get some trailing down below, hit this mitigation, and then hopefully come back up. Here I have these drawn off here. That's why whenever I come up into this area, and probably same thing here, I mean, straight off, look, coming straight into the breakers. Breakers basically are from a full candle, full either hour candle or 4-hour candle or something, gets up into the breaker area, and it's pushed down in the mitigation area. Thing with the breaker area, until it can actually break it, then it acts as support. But until it can actually break it, act as resistance. That's the thing. And I have this friend, somebody who, about, Bitcoin is, being manipulated a bit. Bitcoin. Oh man, you just need to study the charts. You need to understand smart money. It's yeah, there is smart money out there doing some things with you, but they're not holding price back on purpose. So it's a part of the algorithm. To learn the algorithm to understand that this is happening. Not always going to be. Bitcoin is not going to ever. Oh, and he was like, I'm more concerned about, the monthly, because if you check out the monthly, it's actually kind of interesting. If you look at the monthly with Bitcoin, I mean, you just have 4 or 5 months, green, no red. But what he doesn't understand is that it's all been rebalanced. So there's no point to worry. I mean, this is almost rebalanced. This is rebalanced. This whole, I mean, look at this. All of February came up to almost the top of March, fell back. Whenever it started in March, came back up, and then here it went back up a little bit, pulled back down a little bit. Now we're starting April. Like, it's all balanced. The only thing that is not balanced is way down here back in November, December. The only thing that is not balanced, and us to get around $20,000 again, it's possible, but that would be for the institutions to get in, and that would cause a big time scare. And I mean, and it would cause a lot of people to jump out of Bitcoin, and that's what people would want. So that's one thing you do kind of have to worry about, that kind of have to worry about, some of those kind of things. If you weird drop or kind of panic sell and think, just remember that it's probably not going to get anywhere below this point right here, 20,000, anywhere below 20 20 and 27. I would say 20 and 27. That is going to be a spot that you would watch if it was to ever get its lowest again. I already have fired drawings coming in. Here to here. There you go. All the way across. That would be where you'd have to not even have all these other areas. I wouldn't have to. Anyways, I'm going way over my time. It has been almost 2 hours I've been doing this. Didn't realize that. No, almost hour and 15 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. So still long enough for me. I'll get a hold of you guys in the morning. Check out my channel. Hopefully I'll have some good SPX good stuff for you. Hopefully we can end this week on a good note, and you know, do things the right way, and hopefully get a good bag, because you know, I lost some money, especially whenever my phone died. My phone died in the middle of the trade, and it cost me a lot because I didn't have a stop loss set, and it was on NASDAQ, and the broker took had to put in a little bit more money just to get into that $100 range, unfortunately. So starting all over again. So we're gonna have to do this, and we're start all over again. Good night, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Please share this video if you do like smart money, if you do like learning about algorithms and understanding that the market doesn't just randomly do what it wants to do, and that it does have a rhythm, and there's something behind it, and it's not just randomness of numbers. Give this channel a like, give this channel a share, give this channel a subscribe, show your friends, tell them that they need to know there are things out there about crypto, about indices, about forex that fuel the prices and things like that, or else what we have today. This is not just based off 100% randomness. Nobody's gonna come in here and try to, you know, play money, or, you know, give up their money just based off random. If that was the case, we'd all just be, but we're not gamblers. We understand that there's a risk out there, and the risk and the reward can be way greater than the risk. Right. And hope I'm teaching people the right way. If I am, give me a like, shout out, do whatever you can. You know, sign up for my Patreon. It's $3 a month. You know, until I can get my signals thing going. Again, this is why I didn't want to early. I didn't look bad in the very beginning. Then people be turned off of it and not tell their friends, and I wanted to wait. But we'll just keep going, and we'll keep rolling with it, and we'll see what we got going from here. Okay, guys. So thanks a lot for all your support, all your help, all your everything, and thank you very much for everything. And always remember